Well, we start with England and news this lunchtime that Gareth Southgate will discuss a new contract with the FA after England's World Cup qualifying campaign finishes in November. For more on that and to look ahead to tonight's game with Poland, I'm joined by Gareth Southgate. Gareth, very good afternoon to you. So take us through what we know about Southgate's contract situation.
Well, look, the situation is that Gareth Southgate has 14 months left on his contract as the England manager. After the last World Cup in Russia 2018, he signed a new 4-year contract which takes him up to the World Cup finals in Qatar in December next year. Now, before this summer's Euros, the FA chief executive, Mark Bullingham, said that he wanted to sit down with Gareth Southgate to talk about giving him a new extended contract, which would take in the next Euros, which were in Germany in 2024. Now, those talks were expected to be held after the Euros, but actually Gareth Southgate has said, look, I've got too much on my plate at the moment. The full focus, all my attention has to be on these World Cup qualifiers. I want to get these World Cup qualifiers out of the way. Once that is done, I will sit down and talk with the FA about extending my contract. Now, the interesting question is, how long does Gareth Southgate want to remain England manager? We know that he wants to go back to being a club manager at some point in the future. But the question is, when does he want to do that? Does he want to do that, for instance, after the World Cup next year? And that would mean not signing a new contract. Does he want to do it after the next Euros in 2024? Or does he want to remain in charge of England for the World Cup in 2026 as well, which is in USA, Canada and Mexico? So quite an interesting situation. On the one hand, of course, the FA want Gareth Southgate to stay. They're absolutely delighted with the work he's done as the England manager. On the other hand, yes, Gareth Southgate is very happy in the job. I think he would like to extend his contract, but just in the back of his mind, he still does have this ambition to going back to being a club manager.
And in the very front of his mind, Gareth, is tonight's game where you are in Poland. Are we expecting wholesale changes from the team that started against Andorra?
Look, I wouldn't be surprised if Gareth Southgate made 11 changes to his side this evening. Of course, he made 11 changes for the game against Andorra, and I think he may well go back to the starting 11 that played so well against Hungary last week. So that would mean Jordan Pickford would start in goal, and it would be a 4-2-3-1 formation. That defence would be Kyle Walker, John Stones, Harry Maguire and Luke Shaw. And then the two number 6s, really, Calvin Phillips and Declan Rice. In front of them, you have Mason Mount, Raheem Sterling on one side, Jack Grealish on the other side, and of course, Harry Kane up front. I think that is England's strongest side at the moment, and it is the side that we expect Gareth Southgate to go with this evening. Of course, there's a chance that he could switch formations, play 3 at the back. He did that, for instance, in the Euro final against Italy when Kieran Trippier came into the side. That is an option, but all the noises coming out of the England camp so far in the past few days is that he will go back to the side that started against Hungary.
And Gareth, England have been in great form this year. So much talk about their attacking options, but actually how much has it been down to this defence?
I mean, the defence has been absolutely amazing this year. England have played 14 games. England have kept 11 clean sheets. They've only conceded 3 goals, one against Italy in the Euro final, once against Denmark and one against Poland at Wembley last March. Apart from that, all clean sheets. And what's been interesting is that the defence has changed quite a lot, not just in formation, but also the personnel that Gareth Southgate has used. But they've been very, very solid. And I think at the moment, we're beginning to see that Gareth Southgate's first choice formation in defence, if he plays a back 4, is what we expect him to use this evening. So that's Kyle Walker, John Stones, Harry Maguire and Luke Shaw. And interestingly, those players all play for Manchester clubs, Manchester City and Manchester United. So they know each other quite well. They've got a very good understanding. And England at the moment look very, very solid when those four start in defence.
And just overall, Kave, how important is it that England do the job tonight?
Well, look, it is important. Gareth Southgate would tell you that his players need to win here tonight. They want to qualify for the World Cup in Qatar next year as early as possible. But being realistic, even if England were to lose here this evening, you would say that it would be absolutely incredible if they didn't qualify for the World Cup finals, because they've won 5 games so far. They've got 15 points, and looking at it on paper, they have some pretty easy games coming up. For instance, against Andorra, against San Marino. So even if they don't do the job here this evening, I'm pretty confident they will get the job done before that last game on November the 15th away at San Marino.